Leverkusen travel to a Heidenheim hoping to pull off a Houdini-level escape from relegation. New coach at Leipzig, Zsolt Low, is hungry to get off to a winning start against Hoffenheim, whilst the inconsistent Dortmund travel to a Freiburg who are craving European football next season. We'll cover these games, in fact we'll cover all the games coming up in match day 28 of the Bundesliga. FC Heidenheim versus Bayer Leverkusen. 16th place versus 2nd. Heidenheim, well, they're on a 2-game unbeaten streak. Yeah, you heard that correct. Homeboy hero Frank Schmidt. Well, he's hoping to be the Houdini of Heidenheim. That's an attempt to keep them in the Bundesliga for their 2nd consecutive season. Schmidt's got them up to 16th. First time they've been in that position for a long while. That 2-game unbeaten streak, by the way, includes 2 wins. In fact, there's 2 wins and 2 draws in their last 7. 7 goals scored, 7 goals conceded. Prior to this change in fortunes, well, Schmidt had faced 5-game losses on the spin. So quite a change in fortunes there for Mr. Schmidt and his Heidenheim team. Our one to watch for Heidenheim is Niklas Dorsch. Niklas Dorsch is a 22-year-old central midfielder. He's made 17 appearances for Heidenheim this season. There's 1 in there from Augsburg. 2 goals and 2 assists so far this season. And he's averaging 1.3 tackles, 0.7 key passes, and 0.5 crosses per game. Niklas Dorsch there. As for Leverkusen, well, they're going to be hoping to keep the pressure on Bayern Munich. In fact, they've been reacting pretty positively to Munich's results over the last few weeks. Slight side note, Leverkusen did lose to a Liga 3 side in their recent DFB Pokal semi-final. I don't think they're going to wish to watch those highlights anytime soon. Whereas it's 4 wins in their last 5 in the Bundesliga, 2 wins on the spin, scoring 7 goals. They are the 2nd highest scorers in the Bundesliga this season with 62 goals, and they haven't lost a single away game all season. Our one to watch for Leverkusen is Amin Adli, the 24-year-old Moroccan. He's an attacking midfielder, but he does like to play up front. 13 appearances so far this season, 9 as a super sub, producing 2 goals. He's averaging 0.6 dribbles and 2.9 shots per game, and he's got a goals to shots ratio of 0.13. Our prediction for this game is that Frank Schmidt, well, he'll have a go, but it won't be a Houdini. No, he'll be locked up in this game. We believe that Leverkusen are going to win this 3-1 on the road. Isn't that right, Gon? You there, Gonzo? I thought he'd done a disappearing act on me there, a bit like Frank Smith. Yeah, we're going 3-1 away win by Leverkusen because that, assuming that Munich win the night before, would keep that gap to 6 points with just 6 games to go. RB Leipzig versus TSG Hoffenheim, 6th take on 14th place. Leipzig, well, they've had a busy week. They sacked their previous coach, Marco Rose, last Sonntag. We did a video on that, actually. Yeah, we explored what we believe were all the facts behind his sacking. That was in a video, link in the description. Jurgen Klopp, who's the global head of soccer for Red Bull, the parent group of Leipzig, well, he's brought in Hungarian Zsolt Low, no relation to Joachim. Low, he's in temporary charge until the end of the season. He's a Hungarian, like I say. He was previously Thomas Tuchel's right-hand man at Munich before England. Low, well, he lost in his Leipzig managerial debut earlier in the week. That was in a 3-1 loss to Stuttgart in the DFB Pokal semi-final. In the Bundesliga, Leipzig, let's focus on them. Though they've only got 1 win in 5, which is probably one of the reasons that Marco Rose was fired. Leipzig have only got 3 wins in their last 12, and that's since the restart of the season in January, because they have a winter break in the Bundesliga. They've scored 17 goals in those 12 games, but they've conceded 14. Low, he's got a big job on his hands to make sure that Leipzig continue to appear in the Champions League. They've featured in the elite level of the competition since 2019, would you know? Our one to watch for Leipzig is Niklas Seewald, the 23-year-old Austrian central midfielder. He was brought in by Marco Rose. I believe it was something like €23 million. Seewald has made 23 appearances this season. 10 of those have come off the bench. No goals, no assists to speak of. He's still young, still learning, still adapting all the time. Let's see what Mr. Low can do with him. He's averaging 2.3 clearances, 1.6 tackles and 0.7 key passes per game. Niklas Seewald there of Leipzig. Hoffenheim, well, their home and away form is pretty much a mirror image. It's 3 wins, 5 draws, 6 losses. They've played one more game at home, the difference being that was a draw. Only 1 win in 5 for their Hoffenheim. They've scored 4, they've conceded 4. I see there's some patterns here. Their last away win was 1-0, and that was at Bochum in match day 24. Our one to watch for Hoffenheim is the 22-year-old Nigerian striker, the gift that keeps on giving, Gift Orban. 11 appearances for Orban, 4 goals, although he hasn't scored in 5 games. He's averaging 1.3 shots per game, and he's got a goals per shot ratio of 1. It should be interesting, right? Because there's a Willy Orban in defence for Leipzig, and he'll be up against an Orban in the gift that keeps on giving. It's going to be interesting for the commentator to tackle that one. Our prediction then is that Zsolt Low will get off to a winning start at Leipzig. Yeah, we've gone with a 2-1 home win. Let's see if Jurgen Klopp gives him the job on a permanent basis, if he does well and goes on to win other games. But for this one, yeah, we've gone 2-1 home win to Leipzig. SC Freiburg versus Dortmund, 7th versus 10th. Freiburg, well, they had a 7-game unbeaten streak ended by Union Berlin in matchday 27. Core to that form had been 3 draws on the spin. They've not won for 5 games, and when they did, well, that was a 5-0 hammering of Werder Bremen. Sorry, real Nico. Goals have been hard to come by for Freiburg. They've only scored 4 in 5, if you don't factor in that 5-0, well then 5 goals came in that one game. Freiburg are on 42 points, which is level with Leipzig. However, Freiburg are in 7th due to their -3 goal difference. Now, Julian Schuster, well, he'll be looking for a win to keep them within touching distance of European football for next season. Our one to watch for Freiburg is Ritsu Doen. That's right, the Japanese right-footed attacking midfielder. He's featured in 27 of Freiburg's matches this season. He's behind 8 goals and 5 assists. He's averaging 1.7 dribbles and 0.7 key passes per game. Dortmund then, well, they surprised everyone with a 3-1 win at home to Mainz in matchday 27. Inconsistent, well, that's been the watchword for Dortmund this season. They either win or they lose under Niko Kovac. There's no middle ground. There's been no draws. 3 wins in their last 5. That's 2 wins on the spin. That was followed by 2 losses. Similar to Freiburg, though, that 6 of their 9 goals came in the one game, and that was a rout of Union Berlin, a game in which Seru Girassi scored 4. He was powered by Pascal Gross, who came up with also 4 assists. Dortmund's away form is terrible, though. Like, just 3 wins to speak of. And their last win was back in matchday 24, 2-0 at St. Pauli. Our one to watch for Dortmund is Maxi Bayer. The 22-year-old, he's played all over the front line for Niko Kovac. He scored 7 goals this season. 2 of them came last time out in that 3-1 win over Mainz. He's come up with 3 assists as well. He's averaging 1.2 take-ons, when he's taking on his man to dribble past him, and 0.7 key passes per game. Our prediction in this one is that Dortmund, even though they're inconsistent, will actually win away. Yeah, we're going a 1-0, away 1, away 1? Away 1, yeah. 1-0, away 1, away win for Niko Kovac. Mainz versus Holstein Kiel. This is 4th, taking on rock bottom 18th. Mainz, well, Dortmund crushed their 6-game unbeaten streak in match day 27. That streak had included 4 wins on the spin. They have the second leanest defence this season, having conceded only 31 goals, which is just 5 more than Munich. Plus, they are able to conjure up a goal when in a tight spot. Striker Johnny Burkout, he's on 15 goals for this season. Mainz have scored 10 goals in their last 5. Only Dortmund, Leverkusen and Munich have scored more. Our one to watch for Mainz is Kaishu Sano, 24-year-old Japanese, incredibly hard-working central midfielder. He's appeared in 27 games for Mainz this season. He's averaging 1.9 tackles, 1.7 interceptions and 0.4 blocks per game. Holstein Kiel, like I say, they are rooted to the bottom of the table on 17 points. That's 3 points adrift of Bochum. They've only got 1 win in their last 5. It was a historic win, though. It was their first ever away win in the Bundesliga, period. They've lost their last 2. In fact, they've lost 9 away games all season. They've conceded 10 goals in the last 5, scoring only 4 times. They've gone behind in 21 of 27 matches this season, and they've conceded 33 goals on the road. Only Bochum is able to match that. That's 2 of the leakiest defences in the Bundesliga. Our one to watch for Holstein Kiel is Magnus Knudsen, 23-year-old German central midfielder. He's made 24 appearances, hasn't scored, but he's come up with 1 assist. He's averaging 1.8 tackles, 1.1 long balls and 0.6 dribbles per game. After losing their 6-game unbeaten streak to Dortmund, it feels like Mainz are just going to come out and they're going to cleanse themselves of that defeat and just score 4. Yeah, we think that Mainz are going to walk all over Holstein Kiel 4-0, and we're going to be bold and say that at least 2 of those 4 goals are going to come from Johnny Burkout. Yep, there you go. Mainz to win it at home 4-0. VfL Bochum versus VfB Stuttgart. 17th versus 11th. Bochum have slipped down into 17th recently. 1 win and 3 losses to speak of in their last 5. That 1 win, by the way, was dramatic. It was 3-2 and it was away to Munich on their birthday celebrations. Bochum have lost 2 on the spin, conceding 6 goals. They have won 3 times at home, although that's 3 wins out of only 4 all told this season. Yep, they've only won 4 times home and away. They've scored a modest 13 goals at home. There's still 4 teams, though, that have scored fewer, which is quite incredible. St. Pauli being one of them. They've only scored 8 goals at home all season, and only 3 clean sheets all season for Bochum. Our one to watch is Philipp Hoffmann, the 6'4" German forward. He's featured in 26 games for Bochum this season, and he's come up with 2 goals and 2 assists. He's got an average shots on goal of 2.9, or 2.09, sorry, decimal point there. 2.09 shots on goal per game, along with 4.3 average touches in the opponent's box per game. And he wins an average of 6.08 aerial duels per game, which seems to me like he's using that 6'4" height very effectively. Mind you, we said that about Thomas Svankara of Gladbach, and he lost pretty much everything that was punted up in the air to him. Stuttgart, well, it's 3 losses and 2 wins in their last 5. That's if you don't include their 3-1 win over Leipzig in the DFB Pokal semi-final. Stuttgart's last win in the Bundesliga was back in match day 21. That was a 2-1 away game win to Dortmund. Stuttgart struggled to retain a lead in matches. They've gone ahead 4 times in their last 5. The best they've achieved is 2 draws. They've led twice in games like against Leverkusen, only to lose that one 4-3. Now, credit has to go to Xabi Alonso and his team for coming up with the Leverkusen, as they call it. Yep, there was a late epic comeback in that one. It's worth noting, though, that Stuttgart have also conceded 23% of goals in the last 10 minutes of a game. Keep it on, lads. Keep it switched on. Our one to watch for Stuttgart is Enzo Milo, 22-year-old French midfielder. Well, Sebastian Hoeneß, he uses him everywhere in the midfield, left, right, sometimes in the centre. He's featured in 26 games for Stuttgart this season. He's come up with 4 goals and 4 assists. 2 assists recently in their game against Holstein Kiel and again in their game against Leverkusen. He's averaging 1.1 dribbles and 0.8 key passes per game. And he's got a pass. I said that deliberately. He's got a pass completion rate currently of around about 85.8%. Enzo Milo, French midfielder. They're going to need him to come up with some goods against Bochum. Our prediction in this one is that Stuttgart are going to impose more misery on Bochum, and that's with a 2-1 away win. And we feel that Nick Voltemade is going to get at least one of those 2 goals. And it could, if Mainz slip up to Holstein Kiel, well then we might see Kiel come off the bottom and swap places with Bochum. Can't see it though, really. I mean, there's a bit of a goal difference. Well, there's a 2 goal difference between Bochum and Kiel, but yeah, I don't give Kiel any chances of beating Mainz. Not in this universe anyway. So yeah, there you go. Won't matter. It'll be as you were at the bottom of the table. Come back to this prediction. Sorry. Yeah, Stuttgart away win 2-1. Werder Bremen versus Eintracht Frankfurt. 12th versus 3rd. Bremen, well, they've got 2 wins and 3 losses in their last 5. Only 3 wins in 12 since the January season restart. That does factor in 7 losses, though. And at one point, there were 4 on the spin. That was halted by a shock away win at Leverkusen 2-0. 2-0, though. Bremen have conceded 26 goals at home, which is an average of 2 goals per game. Only 2 sides have conceded more at home, Hoffenheim and Holstein Kiel. 12 of those 26 goals have come inside the opening 30 minutes. Our one to watch for Werder Bremen is Romano Schmidt. The 25-year-old Austrian plays mostly as a central midfielder. He scored 3 times this season. 2 of them have come at home. He's averaging 2.1 key passes, 1.6 tackles, and 1.4 dribbles per game. Romano Schmidt there, who once played for Marco Rose at Salzburg. Frankfurt, well, it's 2 wins on the spin for Dino Topmoller's side. That course-corrected 3 losses on the spin. 6 away wins this season, scoring an average of 1.76 goals per game. They do average 13.2 shots per game as well on the road, and have scored 23 times. They've conceded 20 goals on the road, though. 12 of those goals from set pieces, 8 of which have come from corners. And they are fighting tooth and nail with Mainz for that 3rd place finish, which of course would mean a crack at the Champions League next season. Our one to watch for Frankfurt is Jean-Matteo Bohoya. He's French, he's young, he's 19, he's an attacking midfielder. He's featured in 18 of Frankfurt's matches this season. 1 goal, and that came recently in their 3-1 away win at Bochum. He's come up with 2 assists as well. He's averaging 0.7 key passes, 0.8 dribbles, and 0.3 crosses per game. Jean-Matteo Bohoya. Just love saying that. Gonzo enjoys it as well. Our prediction is that Frankfurt are going to win this one 2-1 away and make it 3 wins on the spin for Dino Topmuller's team. Sorry to real Nico. Yeah, just it feels like we're getting to the business end of the season now. And Frankfurt, well, they're going to be desperate for Champions League football next year. So yeah, we see them winning 2-1 away from home. And I'm going to even throw it out there that Hugo Ekitike, well, he'll score at least one of those goals. That's in a 2-1 away win for Frankfurt. FC St. Pauli versus Monchengladbach, 5th versus 15th. St. Pauli have 1 win and 3 losses in their last 5 games, and they've got a real issue scoring goals at home. They've achieved a miserable 8 all season. Technically it's 7 because one of those was an own goal, and that's coming only 3 wins at home as well all season. That being said, they do have one of the leanest defences in the Bundesliga. They've only conceded 14 goals at home, which is the same as Bayern Munich, and that includes 4 clean sheets. Just imagine what a force there would be if they could just score goals. Our one to watch for St. Pauli is Elias Saad. He's 25, he's German, he's an attacking midfielder. He's featured in 14 games for St. Pauli this season. He scored 3 goals and come up with 2 assists. One of those goals was to make it 1-1 in their game away at Munich in match day 27. Okay, they lost 3-2, but they were pushing Munich. It's a good job there was no more injury time in that game, otherwise Munich would have been, well, they'd have been in a right mess. As for Saad, well, he's averaging 2.16 shots per game, along with 1 dribble, an average of 0.8 key passes per game. Elias Saad there at St. Pauli. As for Gladbach, it's 3 wins and 2 losses in their last 5. In fact, it's 2 wins on the spin with 9 goals scored. They've been shared between Alassane Player, he's got 4 goals in 2. Instagram friendly Robin Hack, he scored 2. Actually, that was a brace in the same game at Heidenheim. And there's only been 1 goal in there from Tim Kleindis lately. To be fair, he has been suspended. Those 2 defeats, well, they were from teams that were also on a streak. That was Augsburg and Mainz. Gladbach have scored 20 goals away. That's middle of the road, really, for Bundesliga this season. And only 2 of those goals have come from set pieces. They're one of the fewest in the Bundesliga to score that way. Only Leipzig have scored less, with 1 solitary set-piece goal. Our one to watch for Gladbach is Frank Honrahat. Sounds about right, yeah. As in the pronunciation, sorry. It could be Honrahat. Honrahat. He's 28-year-old French midfielder, usually plays on the right, actually he's a winger. 13 appearances this season. He's played in the 1-0 win over Leipzig. That was in match day 27 in the game that ultimately cost Marco Rose his job for Leipzig. That was his first appearance, by the way, since December. 2 goals and 4 assists so far this season. 2 of those assists were in a 4-1 win over Holstein Kiel back in December. He's averaging 2.6 key passes, 2.2 crosses, and 0.6 dribbles per game. Frank, he's busy when he gets a game. I mean, he has been injured, but yeah, when he plays, he's very effective. Our prediction is that Gladbach will make it 3 wins on the spin and their 5th away win on the spin too, with at least 1 goal from Tim Kleinditz. We think that Gladbach will win this game 2-0, and that would keep a Champions League place in sight. As for St. Pauli, it would be 2 losses on the spin. And actually, if I do some quick maths in my head, if Heidenheim can pull off a win over Leverkusen, yeah, you just don't know, right? It would put Heidenheim level on points with St. Pauli, which would tighten up the relegation fight with only 6 games to go. Yeah, anyway, our prediction is that Gladbach will win this one 2-0 away with at least 1 goal coming from Tim Kleinditz. Union Berlin versus Wolfsburg, 13th versus 9th. Union Berlin, well, they're on a 3-game unbeaten streak. 3 defeats did precede that, however, including a 6-0 collapse at Dortmund. They have conceded first in the last 3 games that they've played, although they've fought back, because they are street fighters, they've fought back to achieve 2 wins and a draw. The latter, the draw, well, that came at home to Munich. They've struggled to score at home, a puny 11 goals so far. Only St. Pauli have scored fewer with 8 goals. That said, they are miserly in defence like St. Pauli, especially at home. Union have only conceded 14 goals at home, which is on par with Bayern Munich. And that's with Frederick Ranau still earning 3 clean sheets. Our one to watch for Union Berlin is Rani Kadiri. He's the younger brother of ex-Galactico Sami. He's 31, he's German, he's a defensive midfielder. Rani is featured in 25 of Union Berlin's games this season, scoring just the 1 goal. And actually, that came recently in an away win to Freiburg in match day 27. Rani averages 2.3 tackles, 1.4 interceptions, and 0.9 long balls per game. Rani Kadiri there. Wolfsburg are coming into this game on the back of 2 losses on the spin. They've only achieved 1 win in their last 5. That win came 2-1 away to Werder Bremen in match day 24. They have scored 26 times on the road, which is 1 less than Mainz. Very impressive. 11 goals of Wolfsburg's have come from set pieces. That's the highest total per category of goal amongst every team in the Bundesliga so far this season. They have a better away record, winning 7 times with only 4 losses. I should say that's a better away record than they do playing at home. They've only conceded 17 times on the road. Put in context, that's only 1 more than Bayer Leverkusen. And the Wolfsburg keeper in Kamil Grabara, well, he's achieved 3 out of his 4 clean sheets on the road. They might as well just live out of a suitcase. Our one to watch for Wolfsburg is Thiago Tomas, 22-year-old Portuguese attacking midfielder. He's made 26 appearances so far this season. 21 of those have come in some form of attacking midfielder position, whether it be left, right or centre. He scored 6 goals and he's produced 1 assist. He hasn't scored in 6 games though, and he's averaging 1.95 shots per game, along with 1 dribble and 0.7 key passes. Thiago Tomas there. Our prediction is that Wolfsburg are going to course correct their recent 2 losses on the spin. They do have a great away record. Like I said, they should probably live out of a suitcase. So our prediction is that Wolfsburg will score 2. Even though Union Berlin are fighters, we think they won't score at all. So yeah, our prediction for Ralph Hasselhoff, no, because that would really be related to David. Hasselhoff? Hasselhoff? Anyway, Wolfsburg will win this because they've got a great away record and they're going to win it 2-0. And there you go. That wraps up our preview of all the upcoming games in match day 28 of the Bundesliga. Which games are you excited by? And who do you think will be scoring? And actually, what do you think of my wild predictions? As usual, why don't you let us know in the comment section down below. Thanks as ever for the support. It means so much to... Is it still there? Yeah, it's still there. It means so much to Gonzo and I. If you could find it in your heart to give us a like and a subscribe, well, that would increase awareness of the channel. But like ever, you know, a like and a subscribe, that is your free will. We do have more content to keep you satiated in the meantime. Feel free to check out our review of all the games from match day 27. And all that remains to be said is that he's been Gonzo, I've been Craig, you've been extremely patient as ever. I'll be the same for now. Thanks for the support, and we'll catch you on the other side with a review of all the games from match day 28.